Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to LizziefayeLovesBooks. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm in a new location today. I'm in front of my Christmas tree, my very undecorated, unfinished Christmas tree, but it's a start. We always get a real tree, and we just got this a couple of nights ago because Katie was able to be home for one night. She had to go back to Tampa for a few more days before she can come home to spend the Christmas holidays with us. But she was able to come home in time so that all four of us could do our traditional thing of going out to buy our Christmas tree, and we barely made it. They were closing, and we sweet talked them into letting us still get a tree because, I gave them my sad story that Katie was just home one night, and could we please just get a tree because otherwise we'd have to wait till next week, and we're already late to the party as it is. So we got our tree, and got the lights on and the garland and a couple of decorations that you can't see. They're up there, but we'll hopefully work on it tomorrow. Randy will be home, and we'll work on it tomorrow afternoon after church. But right now it is Saturday evening. Our Christmas parade is coming up soon, and Randy will be walking in the door any minute. But I wanted to do just a quick little video to share with you what I'm reading right now in December, because I failed to do a TBR video, and I am reading some really good books. I also want to tell you about the Very Vintage Readathon if you have not heard about it, because that is being hosted by my friend Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes. She has 8 prompts. It's a little 9 prompt board. I'll try to put it here if I can, but there's a free space in the middle. So there's 8 prompts, and they are prompts to read vintage Christmas books. Now, you don't have to read vintage, but each of the prompts is related to a vintage Christmas idea or a vintage Christmas story. And so I want to share with you what I am reading. I have already finished 7 books this month, and I have 9 underway and several more that I want to finish. I think I'm going to be on track to finish about 30 books altogether for the month of December. I'm not sure what that will make for the whole year. I have just hit 300, I think, for the year. And so it'll be a little over 300. But, of course, a lot of those are audio. So I've already filmed this once, and it was literally 59 minutes. And I thought, I don't even want to sit and edit a 59-minute video, even if I can break it down to 30. So I decided to turn the camera on again and just do this fast. So for the Very Vintage Christmas Readathon, there are, like I said, 8 prompts. The first one is to read something that's old-fashioned. And so I just bought this from eBay. This is the first volume in Christmas in My Heart, a timeless treasury of heartwarming stories compiled and edited by Joe Wheeler. Now, this has several volumes. I have read volume 3, and I loved it. I own volumes 2 and 3. It's a long story why I picked up 3 before 2. But anyway, I've got book 1 now, and I want to read that for that prompt. The second prompt is A Christmas Carol, and you're to read a book with a musical element. So I believe I am up to the most recent book in the Vicki Delaney Year-Round Christmas Mysteries. And in this series, each of the titles is based on a song or a phrase from a song. So I am up to Sleigh Ride Together with You, and I believe that's the most recent one. And so I'm going to listen to that one on audio. Then the next one is Nutcracker, and you are to read a book with a fairy tale element. So I was searching my library, and the only Nutcracker book that I could find was Mary Englebright's Nutcracker. And Emily and I have already read this together before I could even read it to her. She spotted it on my book cart after I had picked it up from the library and carried it around for a couple of days, like waiting to read it and looking at it and just enjoying it. This is beautiful. Storm from Storm Reads recently read The Night Before Christmas from Mary Englebright and was talking about all the detail and how she wasn't sure she'd ever be able to read it to a small child because they would want to, just pay attention to all the details. And she's probably not wrong because there is a lot of detail, but it is a very, very beautiful book. Then the next prompt is to read something with a wedding or a romantic element. And I am planning to listen to The Claus in Christmas. This is book 1 in the Poppy Creek series by Rachel Bloom. I don't know anything about it, but my friend Fiona from Reads and Eats has read that and said that she really enjoyed it. The next one is to read a book that features a gift or a gifting element. And I have been wanting to get to Catching Christmas by Terry Blackstock for years. And this has some gifts on the cover. I've already got this checked out from Libby, so I am excited to get to that. It is a Christian fiction book. I've heard great things about it. And then the next one is Jolly Old Saint Nick. So for that prompt, I am counting Miracle on 34th Street, which is the group read for this readathon. I have already finished it. It is delightful. And I had never seen the movie, never read the book, didn't even know it was a book, and it's wonderful. I highly recommend it. And the next prompt is Letter to Santa, and you are to read an epistolary novel. So I have ordered from the library Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. I hope it comes in time for me to read it this month. It's checked out right now, and I hope that they turn it in a timely fashion because I really want to read it. And then the last prompt is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and you are to watch a movie adaptation. So I actually watched the older 1947 version of Miracle on 34th Street with my husband. We found it streaming on either Disney Plus or Hulu, I'm not sure. And they are also streaming the newer version, which I believe was made in the 90s. But I discovered that Emily has this on her shelf. It was up in the top left corner where we never look, and sure enough, she had it. So we have started watching this one too. It's hard for her to get into a new movie that she hasn't ever watched. It doesn't hold her attention until she's watched something a few times. So we were about 30 minutes into it, and she got up and walked away, but we're going to go back to it. I thought it was delightful so far. I have not finished it either. I went ahead and just turned it off, and I said, okay, we'll finish it later. Then I'm reading a few other Christmassy type books that are not for the Very Vintage Readathon, but they could count. For book club, we read The Christmas Table by Donna Van Leer. I love this book. This is the most recent book in the Christmas Hope series. Not everybody in my book club liked it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. This was a reread. I've read this whole series. If you want to read from this series, you'll probably want to start with The Christmas Shoes. It's a tearjerker, but that's the best starting place. But you could read this one and appreciate it without having read the other books. But there are some of the recurring characters in it, and you just won't know all of their backstory if you choose to pick this one up first. And another Christmas book that I'm currently reading right now is Christmas Cats. This is compiled and edited by Shirley Rousseau Murphy. This is a literary companion, and it is full of short stories about cats and excerpts from larger books and just anything having to do with Christmas and cats, and it's delightful. And there is a dog version of that I also own, so maybe next year I'll read the dog version. And then I'm also hoping to get to a Christmas book that was recently gifted to me by Sonia from Sonia with an I. This was part of the gifts that she gave me in our Christmas book exchange. And this is called An Old-Fashioned Christmas, an illustration and decoration edited by Clarence P. Hornung. This is beautiful. It is full of illustrations and graphics and clip art and things like that you could use in your own Christmas cards or whatever, Christmas decorating. And it is beautiful. I want to sit down with it and savor it, read the captions. Some of the illustrations originated from magazines and just various places. So I am really excited to get to that. I've got one other Christmassy book that I have already finished, and I read this for the unofficial Debbie December. Last year, we introduced a readathon called Debbie December, where we wanted to encourage you to read some Debbie Maycomer books. But this year, we kind of let it slip under the cracks, and we didn't announce anything official, but some of us are still reading some Debbie Maycomer books in December. So I have already finished this one. I have this on CD, and my only fault with this one is that it didn't include enough angels. This is book 3 in the Surely Goodness and Mercy Angelic Intervention series, and the angels were present, but there just wasn't enough of them in this book, and I would have liked to have seen them more. I also have another Debbie Maycomer book that I'd like to get to later in the month, and that is God's Guest List. This is a nonfiction Christian book, and I've had this on my shelf for a while. I found it on audio, so I want to get to that one this month as well. Then it's not Debbie Makeover, but I'm buddy reading a Debbie Mason book, so I'm kind of counting that for Debbie December as well. And the book that I'm reading with Fiona from Reads and Eats is Mistletoe Cottage, and we are on chapter 14 right now. We're reading a chapter a day, and we are both really enjoying that one. I've also got another buddy read that I'm doing this month with Donna from Studio in the Library. We are reading Frozen Detective, which is book 2 in the Piper and Porter mystery series by Amanda Flower. This is considered not a cozy mystery because it features an actual professional detective agency, but still I'm going to lump it into the cozy category just because her writing style is very cozy. And so far, the first book was not super gritty or anything, and this first book has started out very nicely, so we are both enjoying it. Okay, I'm back. It is much later. I took a little break and we all went down to our town's Christmas parade. It's just a couple of blocks from here, the closest place where it passes, and we enjoyed the parade. Then we came back and had some dinner. And now I have watched what I just filmed so that I would remember where to pick back up with this video. So next I want to just show you real quick the other books that I have already finished this month, and then I'll talk about more whenever I do a wrap up. But I finished my reread of the Daniel Plan book. And then 2 more books for my 60 by 60 challenge. I finished The Ballroom on Magnolia Street by Sharon Owens, and I finished The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. And then now I want to show you what I'm currently reading. I have a couple of devotional books going. I've been reading the Daniel Plan devotional book all year, and I'm on track to finish at the end of December. Then I've also been reading one with Emily, and this is actually our 3rd time reading this, so I don't even have this on my currently reading list, but I probably will count it that we read it a 3rd time. This is Veggie Devos Day by Day, and this year we read it again because we just didn't have anything better to read. But I did find her 2 more VeggieTales devotion books that we have not read. And so we will read one of those next year. And then we can probably let this one go since we've enjoyed it 3 years. Not 3 years in a row, but we have read it 3 times now. And we can pass this one on to someone else who might enjoy it as much as we did. And then I also have a little devotional magazine that I started reading. This is not a journey magazine. I really enjoy reading journey magazines, but I didn't have one for December. But I did have this one, and I don't even know where I got this, but this is called Open Windows. It is also a Lifeway publication. I believe the Journey magazine for women is a Lifeway publication as well. But this was from winter 2009 to 2010, and it covers December, January, and February. So I started reading this in December, and I will continue reading this through February. So in the morning is generally when I do all of my print reading. A little bit at night, but I fall asleep pretty quickly, so I can't get a lot done at night. So in the morning I read my devotion, and then I usually pick up some kind of nonfiction or, or fiction, whatever I have going at the time. And so right now I am reading Still Meadow Sampler by Gladys Tabor. It's absolutely wonderful. This book is divided into seasons. And I did start this in November, but I had to lay it aside because I had some other print books that I really had to get done in November for the Montgomery Challenge and other things. So I picked this back up this month, and I am on track to finish it. I'm currently almost done with the summer section, and then I have fall and winter left to read. But this is beautiful. I have tabbed several places, and I have just really been enjoying this. And another book I am reading, currently on track to finish by the end of December, is The Lando Calrissian Adventures. This has all 3 books in it, and I am almost finished with the first book, which is Lando Calrissian and the Mind Harp of Sharu. And then the second book is Lando Calrissian and the Flame Wind of Ocean. And the third one is The Star Cave of Thonbaka. When I finish this, I will have read all of the Star Wars novels that were originally published in the 70s and 80s. And I'm so excited about that. So far, this first book has been a lot of fun, and I am looking forward to continuing on and finishing this book. Then when I finish it, I am finally going to read the little golden book of Return of the Jedi. I meant to read this when I was reading the novelization of Return of the Jedi and the junior novelization of Return of the Jedi. I was going to read this in the same month, and I totally forgot. So I'm going to go ahead and read this before the end of December as well. Another book I'm currently reading on my Kindle is Applejacked by Liz Boger. This is book 2 in the Moccasin Cove series. Liz gifted me Chain Linked, which is the first book in the series, and I loved it. So I bought Applejacked on my Kindle, and I have been reading that. So I've been reading a little bit every day, and I'm still working on those little Kindle achievements. And so far, I have achieved all the ones that I have worked towards for this quarter, and I think I have maybe 2 or 3 left by the end of December. So I'm on track to finish those as long as I don't miss a day of reading on my Kindle. Applejack has started out to be a great book, and I'm looking forward to continuing to read it throughout the rest of the month. On audio, I am listening to A Merry Little Murder Plot by Jen McKinley. I spent all of last year and the first part of this year reading through all of the Cozy Mystery series by Jen McKinley, all 3 series, including the Library Lovers, the Cupcake Bakery Mysteries, and the Hat Shop Mysteries. And this is the most recent one. So I was really excited that I was all caught up with Jen McKinley so that when this book came out, I was all set to read it. So I went ahead and saved it for December since it's a Christmas themed book. And I have a physical copy on order at the library, but I'm having to wait in line a little bit. Meanwhile, I'm listening to it on audio on Hoopla, and I'm enjoying it. I just started it yesterday, and so far it's really good. So I have a stack of Christmas books that I have been wanting to get to for a few years now, and I've got them here. I really want to read them soon, but I'm just not going to get to any more of them in December, I don't think. But I am going to go ahead and just plan on reading as many of them as I can in January. I just don't want to put them all off for another year. But I do have one book that will finish a series for me that I would like to go ahead and still try to squeeze in this month if I can. And it's book 12 in the Christy Miller series by Robin Jones Gunn. It's called A Promise is Forever. I also have this little diary book, Christy Miller's Diary, that is just as short as this one, and if I can, I want to try to squeeze both of these in before the end of December so that I can, really check that series off my list. And speaking of checking series off my list, I am going to try my best to do a series update video before the end of the year, so stay tuned for that. All right, so another challenge that I want to finish this month is the ABC Challenge that was hosted by the Kill a Time with Cozies group about 3 years ago. It has taken me 3 years to finish this challenge, and I have 3 books left. It's taken me so long because I've been reading in ABC order. I've read a lot of other cozy mysteries in between, but I made my list of all the books that I wanted to read for this challenge, and I've got 3 left, and I can get all of them on audio, so I am going to finish these books before the end of December. So I'm up to X, and the book I'm going to read for X, only book I know that starts with X, even though one of the rules was that you could pick a book that just had X in the title, it didn't have to be the first letter. I wanted to challenge myself to, make the letter be the first letter. And so I am going to read the Zybalba Murders. It is Book 1 in the Laura McClintock Archaeology Mystery Series by Lynn Hamilton. This is the book that Lee from Dark Roots Creations read for this project, and I think she didn't give it a really high review, but that's how I heard about it, so thank you, Lee, for bringing that to my attention. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what to read for this challenge. I found it on Everand, I believe, on audio, so I'm going to be listening to that. And then the Y book is You Better Not Die by Betty Hechtman. It is Crochet Mystery number 5, and that's the one I'm up to in that series. I've been saving it until I got to Y, and I'm going to be excited to continue on with that series. And then for Z, I'm going to cheat a little bit because Tanya Kappas has that whole Campers and Criminals series, and it's like 50 books long. And the Z book is number 30, but I am only on book 10. So I'm going to go ahead and skip down to the Z book, which is Zoning, Zealots, and Zip Lines. I don't normally do this. I normally read in order, but I really want to finish this challenge this month, and I don't think there's another Z Cozy Mystery title. So I'm going to go ahead and skip down and listen to this one, and then I'll go back, and I might listen to Z again whenever I get to it in order, unless I remember everything about it, which it's probably not going to happen. So I will finish this challenge this year. And I'll be happy about it. And I don't think I'll ever do another ABC challenge ever again. I might, but I don't know. Not for a while. And then one more audiobook I've got checked out on Libby is Personal by Lee Child. This is book 19 in the Jack Reacher series. I have been reading a Jack Reacher novel or short story just about every month this year, and really enjoying all of them. In fact, just tonight I saw a trailer for Reacher Season 3. So I can't wait to get to another Reacher. I have, like I said, I've got it checked out on Libby, and that'll be one of the next books that I listen to this month. I doubt I will get any more of my 60 by 60 books done this month, but I do plan to go ahead and finish those in January so that I can do a wrap up of that project. And then what was going to be my 25 by 25 challenge will be 25 in 25. And I may change it up a little bit and make it 25 standalones that I will read or listen to for that challenge, and then move all the series books to my SAS list, which, like I said, I will hopefully do a video update very soon, and also let you know what my goals are for Serious About series and what my challenges are for 2025. So for now, though, that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. My next video will be the next edition of our Christmas book exchange unwrapping that I'm doing with Mitzi and Sonia. So I hope that you will check that out. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.